Howdy, folks, and welcome to episode 220, no, 244. Good Lord. Is that right? 244? That can't be right. Is that right?
Yes,
It must be right.
because last week was 243, and I didn't make a 243 joke,
No, okay.
and I should have.
You want to make your 243 joke now?
No, I'll save it till 308.
Okay. Well, with the way these things are going, you're not gonna have to wait long. Um, as everybody can see, Reese is with us tonight. No strange cow issues. Knock on wood. Um, we do have Chris Long in the house. He says heyo about an hour ago, so he might not be here, but he'll be back. Charles is in the house saying evening 14 minutes ago, and then Telemachus just joined and says, greetings, you lucky devils. Well, you guys have no idea how lucky I am. They pulled my pick line. They pulled the umbilical cord, so I'm free and clear to navigate. I don't have to go back into the hospital on a daily basis anymore. Um, we're just waiting for that toe to heal up, so I'm back to 100%. So everything is looking good. The infectious disease doctor said that everything the numbers look like the numbers are supposed to. There was one indicator number that was at a 3, and that's where it's supposed to be below that number, or below, might even be below the given number. I don't know what that indicator was, other than, hey, it's low, you're good, rock on. So, on the path to healing. But I didn't say what episode 244 is. Space. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. No, I kid. We will be talking about space gaming a little bit tonight. Telemachus says it's time to toe the line. Yes, it is. Mr. McMurray, welcome.
What's up?
We got a good house tonight. We got Mr. McMurray and Mr. Reese tonight.
Hell yeah.
Welcome, gentlemen. Glad you can make it. McMurray, you didn't hear the good news. I had my PICC line, my Jesus Christ, my IV line pulled today. I don't have to go back. I don't have to go back and have a drip anymore.
Hell yeah, dude.
He's
So
got to
now we're
start
just waiting.
sticking himself with drugs again.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, my buddy Joel told me that was the perfect time for me to get into recreational drugs, because I wouldn't have to actually hit myself with needles.
it is true.
The problem is I'm having to hit myself with needles with the diabetes pin. So that sucks. Space. They just announced a Firefly animated series with the original actors doing voices. Yes, they did. I was very, very excited about that. Dog, quiet. I will string
Ningway,
you up
what's
on
up,
your
buddy?
toes. What's that?
I was saying hi to Ningwaya. Just arrived.
Oh, hey, buddy.
I saw Hey,
Hey,
Chris Long.
yeah.
Yeah, see.
We got two Canadian Chris's. Canadian Chris East and Canadian Chris West.
Hell yeah. I saw
Gentlemen.
Nathan Fillion doing an announcement for the new Firefly thing, and I first was like, God damn, he looks rough. And then he said it'll be animated with him doing voice. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. It's people are bitching about it on the the intrawebs. They're
Well,
like,
that's
oh, it's gonna be animated. I'm not gonna watch it. Well, you know what? Eat a dick.
people are gonna have to
I'm
bitch
gonna
about it.
watch it. I'm gonna love it. Well, as my mom used to say, they'd bitch if they were hung with a new rope.
Exactly.
So,
My grandmother used to say that people like that were weaned on a lemon.
I like that one. I like that one a lot.
That is pretty good. Solid.
I'm going to give it a shot, and I may not like it, and I may like it, but I'm at least going to give it a shot.
If it's garbage,
Exactly.
it's garbage. No one can call it garbage, but until then, we might as well just hope that it's good. Where the fuck did
Yeah,
all my
and-
spokesmen go?
And,
Hang on.
and all I can say is, you know, people bitched about Star Wars animation, and we got at least two very excellent series of Star Wars animation. We got the Clone Wars, both versions. I like both versions, and we got Rebels, which, although Rebels was aired primarily on Disney XD, was still amazing work. Four of the best seasons of Star Wars I've ever watched. Nagoya says the animated Star Trek was wicked. Yes, I really liked the animated series. It's so 70s, man. The music was and the animation style was just so absolute 70s, and it was wonderful. It was glorious.
When did it come out?
Like 73, 74 time frame, so about
Oh, okay.
five.
Okay.
This was an animated Star Trek in the 70s.
Yeah,
Is it like
Yeah,
the
it had
animated
all
That
the original-
sounds fun.
70s?
what's
Is it like the animated Hobbit from the 70s?
no? It's not Bakshi. It's more of kind of like the Hanna-Barbera style, filmation style cartoons, comics. Not
Is that
comics,
like
but-
Yogi Bear?
Yeah, kind of like Yogi Bear, kind of
Oh, hey.
kind of like Super Friends,
No idea.
the original Super Friends. Yeah.
Or Scooby Doo.
Should I?
Yeah, kind of.
Should I ring these bases before I base them?
I base and then paint, but that's just me.
I really just kind of don't want to. I'd rather just kind of leave them like they are. But I don't know if that's gonna piss me off later. I don't care. We'll leave them like they are. I kind of like that.
Telemachus, no, not the Ewoks cartoon. No. Nothing about the Ewoks are good.
Oh, my grandma used to say, "Quit your bitching."
Yeah.
She didn't, but that's
She would have, right?
probably not.
Nguyen says Tron Uprising was wicked as well. Animated can be what the biggest budget for live action can never do. Exactly. And yes, Star Trek, the Star Trek animated series episodes are on the YouTube. Chris Long was more Super Friends. Yep. And then Telemach says, with a dash of Herculoids. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Or Thundar the Barbarian.
Are
And then,
Herculoids like massive hemorrhoids, or
Yeah,
yes.
that sounds terrible.
Well, yeah, no, the Herculoids was a space fantasy cartoon that had a six-legged rhinoceros that shot energy balls out of his horn,
Oh,
and then had a flying
somebody
dragon
was
whelp
doing
type
way
thing.
too many psychedelics.
Oh,
when I came up
dude.
that's what I'm saying. Did they
So-
just like dump acid into the water? At
Yeah,
these
they
animated
absolutely did. They absolutely did, because the bird dragon whelp thing shot lasers out of its tail.
out of its tail or just under the tail?
Out of its tail.
Lost me. Okay.
Yeah. Super Friends is a must-watch every Saturday. I also love the Tarzan animated series, and Thundar the Barbarian was killer. Absolutely. So, apparently we've decided to discuss 1970s animated TV, science fiction TV shows tonight, which is I'm fine with. I got no problems. But before we dive too much farther in that, over at wiley-games.com, all fantasy books, cards, mugs, shirts are 20% off until March 29th.
That's pretty slick.
So if you don't got it, go get it. So be on the lookout for that. Also, and for whatever reason, I just have so much difficulty remembering Special Artisans.
Services miniatures.
Yeah, Services Miniatures. Go check them out for not only some really cool miniatures, but some really great American-made basing materials.
That's what I'm using right now. You're going to see 2 of them
Yep.
today.
So it's similar to what Luke APS put out, but it's made here in the U.S. So you get it faster, you get it a little less expensive, and you're supporting a really cool cat from St. Louis that McMurray helps with from time to time.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah, there are my 2 plugs for the night. Again, I don't get really anything out of it other than, hey, these guys are cool guys that really love the hobby, and they're doing cool stuff for said hobby. So,
Hell yeah.
what I've been working on, my buddy Forrest has let me borrow his pre-dreadnoughts for Battle of Tsushima.
Nice.
Um,
So no, not the forest. Different forest.
yeah. Forrest from my Thursday gaming group.
Hell yeah.
And because Brad wanted to play Ocean Thunder, and I said, well, I don't really have any ships ready to go, and I really don't feel like printing and painting up a crap ton of ships to take care of everything. So
How do you not have
if
ships ready
somebody's
to go?
got ships, what's that?
How do you not have ships ready to go? What happened to them all?
I've given them away to people.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah. Anywho, and Forrest said, "Hey, I've got Battle of Tsushima." I said, "Well, alrighty then, let's make it
Hell yeah.
happen." So I've got all of the Japanese ships done on their ship data cards, and then I've got 6 of the Russian ships. I've got 14 more to go. Luckily, 9 of those are of 3 different classes.
That's
So,
helpful.
yeah. Oh, excuse me. 7. 7 of those are of sister classes. But it doesn't take hardly anything at all to get the stats put in. Actually, what takes longer is finding side and overhead views of the ships to put them on the stat cards.
Oh yeah, I would
But,
imagine so.
but that game is tomorrow night,
Oh shit, there you go. Nice.
so I'll be staying up not too late tonight to get all this done. But yeah,
Man, I got a glue plug at the end of this bottle of glue, and it is going to
that's
blow it out.
no bueno.
Yeah, it's going to be a pain in my ass. Because I really need to get these things based. Because I painted up
You
like.
got a needle or a thumbtack?
Well, the issue is it's down into it, but now when I try and get glue out of it, it just replugs. And so it's going to have to come out the front, and it's just going to cause a giant mess. And a massive.
Point in the safe direction and pull the trigger.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Actually, it looks
time to
like
clear the barrel.
think I have broken it up enough that it's going to work now, and that's going to be okay.
It's like a really
Good to
sticky
hear.
kidney stone.
Yeah,
Right?
gross.
Um,
Hopefully less painful. It should be less painful.
it should be. One would hope.
Yeah, basically, it should be less painful than a kidney stone, for Christ's sakes.
The other thing I've been working on is my Star Trek Adventures campaign. We had our first game this past Sunday, and the guys dig it. It's a mission that I created on my own, and I printed out the GM packet, and I thought it turned out really nice looking. Um, got lots of
Outstanding.
color, and yeah. And I've got the second mission already created also. So I've got 3 different guys that are taking really good notes. And they're sending me what they've got written up. So I'm going to compile everything together, and I think I'll put it up onto the Discord for everybody to look at if they so said. Yeah, Scala, how you doing, buddy? Yes, I did say Star Trek.
Now, is that like a Dungeons and Dragons type RPG, or is that like a Privateers and Gentlemen thing where you got a bunch of ships flying around?
It's Dungeons and Dragons style, but there is going to be some ship combat. I got to figure out exactly how I'm wanting to do that. But there will be the ability to have ship combat. Probably what I will do
Just play a different rule set.
is fall back on FAS's Star Trek game that they had, where each player, like the captain had control of certain things, the helmsman did certain things, and they all had their own little board
Nice.
that they were able to, take, they had to discuss amongst each other, okay, we have a total amount of power units to be used by everybody. So what do we need, what do we need?
Yeah.
Do we need to make sure we got more shields? Do we need more phaser power? Do we need to pump it into maneuvering and speed? And then they just do what they're going to do, and then I play, the opposing ship, and hopefully they kick my ass, and not the other way around. So, but we're not even close to there yet. They were really wanting to have a game of intrigue, exploration, politics in the Delta or in the Beta Quadrant.
Nice.
So that's what I'm giving them, and they dig it so far. And every single one of my players has been integral in the storyline already. I have not left anybody, sitting on the sideline, so to speak. Everybody's had something to do and make their part of the story be more than, Joe Redshirt beaming down to the planet and dying before the first commercial.
Well, that's good. That's got to be encouraging player.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We got one guy, Grant. He's only gotten into tabletop gaming in the last 18 months, and I don't think he's if he's played an RPG. Um, I don't maybe once or twice. So he is enjoying the hell out of it.
Nice.
Scala, we're playing the Lost Era. It is 2330. So it's 33 years after the Kittimer Accords.
Yeah, I know like
So,
those words. Hell yeah.
so the Romulans are still out there being spooky. Um, the Klingons are our allies, kind of. Mandarin Mike, how are you doing, sir? Glad you could join us.
Mike, how you doing, buddy?
So yeah, they really they liked the idea that we were gonna be able to zip around in the galaxy and not have to worry about running into Kirk and or Picard. And, we could definitely end up doing our own stories and not have to worry about you know uh, walking in the same circles as main characters of the main timeline.
You never
Really,
had green titties making out with William Shatner?
right? Exactly. We can have our own guys doing that.
Perfect.
So, um, so yeah, that's where we're running. Like I said, they have enjoyed it immensely so far. They're they're kind of bummed that we got to wait until mid-April for the next session because we're only playing once a month. So,
Reese,
but
did I tell you you're safe, buddy? Sorry, keep going. I was gonna say I don't have
What's going on with it?
I don't have a Star Trek like mitten figure to put on your table, Chris. Sorry, buddy.
that's okay. That's okay. All you gotta do is find an Orion uh, chick, paint her green with not much else, and you're good. Um, this coming Saturday, we're gonna be we're heading over to Joel's and we're gonna be playing Fistful of Lead Reloaded. My buddy John Isbrand has spent the last however long he's been doing it, last couple of months or so, painting up cowboys and building up you scenery. And so he said, all we got to do is show up with dice and measuring tapes, and he's bringing all the miniatures and the terrain, and
Hell yeah.
we're gonna have a shootout. So got that going for us, and then in April, once I get all of this done with for Battle of Tsushima, I got to get back to painting up my Bretonians because in April when we game at Joel's, it's going to be Dragon Rampant again, but this time it's just two bases per unit, and we're going to use centimeters instead of inches. So we're going to see how well it'll play on like a 2 foot by 3 foot table using centimeters. We'll see.
Probably quite well.
Yep. Yep. Mike is making Buffalo Ranch cheddar chicken for dinner.
Nice.
Um, I
Mike
had,
is talking about her problems.
This week.
yeah, I had nachos. Well, it was a taco salad nacho thing. Um, it was. Hey, Mutt, how you doing, buddy?
Hey,
It was
Ormar.
leftovers from Monday night tacos.
Nice.
So, yeah, put a bed of corn chips down, cover that in shredded cheese, then taco meat, refried beans. Pop that into the microwave for a minute or two. Brought it out. A little bit of lettuce, some paste picante sauce. Boom, done. Shove it in my pie hole. Call it good. So, okay. So the
Speaking
actual
of the rampant games, I did order.
Oh yeah.
Rebels and Patriots.
Outstanding.
So,
Outstanding.
Fun
I
game.
think you'll enjoy it. I like the fact, and we've talked about the rampant games quite a bit the last couple of weeks, but I like the fact that they not only is it model agnostic, but it is or genre agnostic, so to speak, but it's also scale agnostic. I mean, you can play in anything. Well, hell, you could play anything from 2 millimeter all the way up to probably 54 if you really wanted to, if you had a big enough table. So yeah, it's a cool set of games.
I'm looking at different rule sets for the Civil War.
Right.
Reese has plans.
I don't know about plans, but I've got an inkling of a plot.
Wait, that counts, I think.
So
I wonder how well. So, what is the time frame for Rebels and Patriots?
Like, it's designed for black powder conflict in North America, and by that they mean it's not super well suited for like big battle Napoleonic stuff.
Right.
So it's more of that big skirmish type thing.
Right. Right. So obviously you've run it for Civil War.
And AWI.
Oh, and AWI. Okay, perfect. So if I really got a hankering, I could do a Battle of San Jacinto fairly easily then.
In the Texas War of Independence?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes. You find the figures, you can absolutely... Hell, I think there's actually army lists for like the Texas War of Independence in the back because they cover a fair amount. Like most of the rampant games are pretty good about that. They got big sample like war bands, you know. I want to say there is one. I can check in a minute once I get all these guys. Well, I can check in a couple hours when I get all these based up.
and Old Glory makes the Texan War in 15 millimeter.
And 10. And probably 28, to be honest with you, yeah. Oh, what I was saying, your safe outreach is Irregular has unfortunately, RIP guys, stopped taking orders. Ian is finally and well deservedly retiring after 45 years of running Irregular Miniatures. But I didn't order any more 54 millimeter ladies, Reese, so.
You're gonna have to find a new source.
At least on that front, you're safe. Yeah, I don't know if there's that many out there, to be honest with you, but I'm sure I can find some if I need to.
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut because I know, but I'm not gonna give you that information.
Yeah, I think I know of a plastic set, but yeah.
Jeffrey,
I know
how
a
you
couple
doing,
of plastic
sir?
sets.
Jeff, what's up, buddy?
He says, I'm not a cabin boy, I'm a cabin man.
Yeah, you are, buddy. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Jeffy, if we're on to the wargaming this week, Jeffy and Alan, Camp Sawyer, got me to play GBACW Simple, and my brain did not explode.
Well, that's
uh,
good.
which I thought it might with anything that carries the GBACW label, but it did not. It was quite fun. Alan and I got a good turn or two into, I think we got one turn done, just kind of learning everything, um, and getting everything set up and whatnot, of Rutherford's Farm, which is a prelude to, I think, second or third Winchester, either way. Very fun. Having a blast. I think we're playing that tomorrow. But yeah, it's quite delightful. I'll be real honest with you. I'm having a great time playing it. And my brain didn't explode, so I got that going for me too. And the cabin man is around. I think tomorrow, actually, the rules designer for the simple rule system might hop on also to clarify rules questions. And hopefully offer advice like Mark Herman tends to when he hops on, because I get the feeling Alan's about to just mop me off the table, but that's okay.
Well, Jeffy says you're
I
going to
think
be doing
Hexy
it
would
again
like our
tomorrow
little
night.
project too.
What's up, Reese?
I think Hexy would like our little project too.
Oh, I think Jeffy would be thrilled with our project. Jeffy is embarking on his goal for the year is to get a game of 15 some sort of 15 millimeter World War II game played, whether that's bolt action or flames or whatever else. Because he has been painting 15 millimeter World War II like a madman, and it looked awesome. Because he does like camo and shit, which is wild. Because I don't do that on my 28s, but yeah, he's been getting after it real good. And I'm quite excited to see the results of that because they should be pretty stellar. See, this is what I'm saying. Look at Jeff here. I don't know what he's
Wait till
created,
you
but
see
I'm
what
excited
I've
to see it.
created from minis.
Yeah, I have no idea what you've created, Jeff, but I am pumped to see it, buddy. You know that.
Yep.
You know that.
So-
It's gonna be whatever it is.
Yes, so Rebels and Patriots does have the Texas Revolution starter armies.
There you go. Do you have a PDF copy of it?
Yeah.
It's, again, Reese, I'll give you the same fair warning that I give everybody with Rebels and Patriots. It is a delightful game. It's based real. It's definitely a rampant game, but it was definitely not written by Daniel Mercy, so you get a little bit of like hiccupy stuff sometimes.
Okay.
That being said, it's all stuff that's easy to work through. Like, there's nothing that you're going to look at and be like, well, I don't have an answer for this. I can't play this game. If that makes any sense at all. But
It does.
I think you're going to have a blast, to be honest with you, because it is quite fun.
Well, I've got 4 games to try. It's going to be Rebels and Patriots, Sharp Practice,
Hell yeah.
Black Powder, and then Fistful Led Bigger Battles.
Hell yeah. I might see if we can't dig up a copy of Gettysburg Soldiers for you also, because that looks like a kind of semi-lighter Fire and Fury,
Okay.
which is quite a delightful rule system.
Chris Long says The Men Who Would Be Kings is a fun game as well.
It is. It is a delightful game. I have played a couple games of that, mainly because I don't have that many colonials, but it is quite delightful. It's right up there. Same idea. The one nice thing that you get in, if you're playing strictly rules as written for those two, is unlike the Dragon and Lion Rampant, if you fail an activation, initiative does not automatically pass to the other player, which is kind of nice because that can be a bit of a struggle and a bit of a deterrent, especially for newer players playing
Right.
Lion Rampant. People bitch sometimes with rolling for initiative each turn. It's like, well, they just got a double initiative. Well, that's fine. You stand just as much of a chance at doing that as they do.
Exactly.
Also, no one's getting a triple, which is entertaining when it happens to stuff like Chain of Command. But I can see where people get a little put off by it because it can be pretty devastating in Chain of Command. Flip side, is if you get a triple or a double activation, you're not doing very much. But I know it does bug some people about like chain of command that you can get kind of 2 active phases in a row. Like I said, it's a game ender by any means. It's really not doing much. 'Cause it means that at least 2 or 3 of your, or I'm sorry, 2 of your dice are 6s, and you're not activating anything. But that's probably a rant for a different day, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's going to be I'm going to have fun experimenting.
Also, Q Polly from Beyond the Grave just screaming, teleporting troops at me. McMurray for president.
Chain of command.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you use jump off points, which are really entertaining, and I really like the mechanic. But I do get where people go, oh, your troops are teleporting. They're not really teleporting, they're just marching up to where you can finally see them as opposed to meandering on the table for, 4 turns so you can get all your stuff in position to slaughter them. As opposed
if you
to.
want,
It's point of contact.
Yeah.
if you want to discuss teleporting troops, let's discuss the American tank destroyer rule in
Flames of War. Yes, correct.
That's unit teleportation there.
Where you have an M20 or a Jeep rolling around, and then all of a sudden there's like 5 M10s just, hello.
Yeah. Hi, here we are.
Yeah. Sitting on this road right in front of you so we all get clear shots. Yes.
Yep. Oh, and then they
Correct.
get to disappear again.
Fair. Actually, that is one thing about chain of command. Tanks don't use jump off points. Tanks still enter from roads on board edges.
You know why?
Because they're loud as
Because those
shit.
things, those things are large and it's difficult to hide them.
Yeah, they don't take cover particularly well. I've never seen a tank crouch.
Right? I've seen an airplane crouch.
Fair. I've seen some
Never
cars.
ends well.
What'd you say, Reese?
I said it never ends well.
Yeah.
Well, no, the C5, when
crouch
the
below
nose
you.
pops up, it nose dips down, so things don't have to go up as steep of an incline on going in or coming out.
Yeah.
Yes, Mike, you are correct. There is nothing wrong with meandering on the table.
Correct.
I
It
see what you
can
did
be
there.
frustrating. Like that's always one of those things with like games like Bolt Action. You got to run your guys on from the side of the table, and then your opponent knows exactly where. Okay, well I got like 4 turns to maneuver my MGs or whatever else, so that by the time you come up this road or around the side of this hedge or whatever else,
Right.
you've just got.
Or I've got artillery that I can just whale the fuck out of you with.
Yeah, like I get it, but I don't know. There's certainly plus and minuses to both. I still haven't quite figured out, even when Toddy and I were playing, our 6 or 7 in a row games of Chain of Command. I still haven't quite figured out how exactly to run the patrol phase, where you decide where your jump off points are getting to. I
Right.
played enough Chain of Command that I should probably know what I'm doing in the patrol phase, and I really don't, but whatever.
Is there something similar in sharp practice?
I don't believe so. I'm not sure. Sharp Practice uses kind of the system or the kind of mentality that they brought about in, like, I Ain't Been Shot Mom and stuff, and Charlie Don't Surf, where you've got big men, and the action really focuses on what your leaders are capable of doing and what they're doing, which to a certain extent Chain of Command does
That's
too.
pretty cool.
Yeah, like the entire idea is that leadership and personalities plays huge parts in this, in these eras of fighting, as opposed to World War II, where you
Well,
start.
especially if I'm doing the Trans Mississippi, that's going to be really cool.
Yeah, because that is the epitome of, personality-based forces.
Big men.
Yes. Yeah, that's for sure. That'll be really cool. Gettysburg Soldiers takes a few more figures, but it looks pretty fun. I think it might really be kind of generated towards multi-based figures, but that's okay. Like I said, we'll see if we can't dig out a copy of that for you, just at least to take a look at. It's significantly more simple. You basically have artillery, infantry, and cavalry. But yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm also batting back and forth the idea of writing a set of rules specifically for the Trans-Mississippi
Which is very fair.
or for the guerrilla conflict.
Yeah, which is very fair. I'm sure I'm sure you could bastardize cowboy rules for it, but it's not quite the same. You know what I mean?
Oh no, I need a lot better mounted combat than cowboy rules.
Well, that's fair. A lot better mounted combat. I shoot at you, you shoot at me. Shit, we have shotguns. I bash you in the face. You bash me in the face. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was reading where how a good chunk of the time, when not trying to ride through town like a hellion, a bunch of the border war and bushwhacker conflicts kind of took place with guys acting almost essentially as hussars, right, in the Napoleonic and earlier context, where they were acting almost like mounted infantry. You ride up so you get somewhere around somebody, but then you're still probably going to want to dismount to attack, because if they've got rifles and stuff and you're riding in on horses, eventually you're going to have to take a pause to turn or wheel or whatever, and that can potentially be a really, really, really bad day.
Well, the enrolled Missouri militia and other stuff like that, like definitely on the federal side, there was that. Depending on the guerrilla band, I think they really did try to stay mounted if possible.
It's certainly
But
easier to
you
get
definitely
out.
had. What'd you say?
It's certainly easier to get out.
Exactly.
Sorry, it's certainly easier
I've been
to get
reading through and listening through a lot of bushwhacker stuff.
Yeah. I'm also mainly looking at nonsense on the eastern side of the state where stuff took kind of a different bit of a turn. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm focused on southern and western.
Makes sense.
The southern side of the state's really hard to track because most people didn't talk about it after the war and nobody wrote anything down because
Because
everybody
a lot of
still lived
people
in
had-
the same neighborhoods.
I was about to say, people also had a lot of trouble writing at that point in time. In
Yes
terms
and
of
no.
not necessarily that there weren't literate people, but the numbers were certainly not as favorable as they were elsewhere in the U.S. There's
But
plenty.
even oral stories weren't necessarily passed down because of how hard the grudges were.
Well, yeah. I mean, if the guy that lives next door to you is going to wind up shooting you, why are we talking about it?
Well,
Yeah.
you look at the Ozarks, and a lot of the different conflicts were frankly extensions of the Civil War afterwards.
Slash,
Even the bald knobber, anti-bald knobber conflict really comes down to federal and Confederate.
correct. And, I mean, not only that, but you also wind up with people not really being as necessarily invested in the overall, policy aims of various. Again, this is getting away from the western side of the state, but you get people who aren't necessarily as invested in the overall policy war goals of each belligerent, and more in, well, I don't like that fucking guy, and he's got this side.
Oh yeah,
Fuck that guy. We're joining this side.
it was a three-sided war in the southern part of the state.
Looking at the James brothers, who essentially just used it as a fantastic opportunity to be real big criminals. But yeah. Which again,
Yeah, I'm digging into some stuff on the James boys that's making me scratch my head.
I don't know. I haven't.
I saw some somewhat credible evidence suggesting he faked his death in '82.
Aren't there like a shitload of pictures of him dead and shit? And didn't he not lay in state, but lay in disgrace for several days?
No, I mean, there's a lot of pictures of him dead, but and they're not saying that nobody died, but they're saying the guy that got killed wasn't him. Sort of like the Billy the Kid thing,
Oh, I gotcha.
and that he orchestrated it.
Oh,
But
beats me.
there's a lot of Knights of the Golden Circle stuff floating around with that, and I'm not sure how much I believe on that stuff.
That's fair. My research is certainly more, or my reading is certainly more cursory than that. I would not call it research. Um, but it certainly
I
goes
did
into
find a 1924 Quantrill's Raiders reunion log that had his name on it, which was ironic. Like somebody had signed the guest book Jesse James.
Yeah, the most ultimate fuckery. We got when we do camp staff stuff for reunions or just whenever you sign in, somebody always signs in as a guy
Yeah.
named Kyle Brown, who was a dick for a long time, but somebody always signs, the visitor's log, or, if there's a raffle, you'll wind up with like 7 pulls that are all Kyle Brown and nobody's seen the guy in like 10 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, who knows?
I'm not saying I buy into it. I just found
No,
it interesting.
I get it. I just meant in terms of the people continued on with their actions after the war in a very similar manner. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
I think I'm going to name my main Confederate bushwhacker Charlie Hart.
Charlie's such a nice dog.
No. I agreed. Charlie Hart was the pseudonym that Quantrill used when he rode with the Jayhawkers.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
Telemachus
Charlie's a
says
great
it was Elvis all along.
It was Elvis all along. Hell yeah. One thing that I have decided is going to become part of the Bald Knobber project, which I intend to return to soon after this Lord of the Rings Blitz I'm on is done, is the chunk of the post-war era, the chunk of the wartime and then post-war era in southeastern Missouri around the places that I've wandered extensively. Because that is fairly well documented, mainly because the main, again, quote unquote Confederate belligerent, which really just was a guy who didn't like German immigrants, and was a bit of a dick and a criminal in the first place, named Sam Hildebrand.
Are you? Oh yes, I've got a book about him.
His quote unquote autobiography.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of those things that's really weird because
I'm
he
not-
was well renowned for never being able to read or write. And yet,
Oh, I'm
so-
not saying it was accurate. I'm collecting
No.
bushwhacker stuff at this point.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, he's one of those people like that was just a dick before the war, continued to be a dick, and it's just.
I
one of
thought
those,
you were talking about Alonzo Prather there for a second. I was like, are you calling Alonzo Prather a criminal?
No. Wait, isn't Alonzo Prater a bush?
Okay.
That's a bald knobber.
No,
Right?
anti-bald knobber.
Anti-bald knobber.
He
Same
was
thing.
one of the original 13, and after they hung the Taylor brothers, he left
Yeah.
and formed the anti-bald knobbers.
Correct. My apologies.
Because he's like,
Either
hey,
way,
I'm not about this crap.
different side of the snake, but yes. Also, different mentality because Sam Hildebrand was all about killing people, and robbing people and stuff. Sam Hildebrand would have been hung or beat up by the bald knobbers, more than likely.
Probably was, or probably would have been.
Yes, oh certainly. Except for he was in Madison and St. Francis counties and St. Genevieve for the most part.
There you go.
But
Jeffy's got a question for you.
what's up, Jeffy?
Oh, what's
What did you order for me, McMurray?
I have no idea, Jeff. I legitimately just figured out where I knew that name from. I don't think I did, and I quit drinking, so I don't think I did.
unless you ordered stuff for him when you ordered my stuff?
No, it was from. If it's the guy I'm thinking of, he runs a hobby store called the Hobby Bunker in Massachusetts. which I have bought stuff from in the past, but I don't recall like buying crap for Jeffy recently here from, especially not from there. Yeah, Jeff, I knew it really was just trying to figure out where I knew the name from. Scala, Google them. They're kind of cool. And by kind of cool, I mean they're super controversial, but quite interesting to read about. The bald knobbers, that is. Sam Hildebrand is also
What scale are you doing your bald knobbers in?
15, because I want to be able to
15?
play on like a 12 by 6 and really get the kind of stretch of the conflict where, okay, then they rode, 10 miles to get to somewhere. Obviously, I'm not going to get 10 miles on a table, but you can get kind of
Right.
that great big blown out, okay, so we're at this place, and then we, rode way down to so-and-so's farm, and then we rode up to the tree or whatever, or the cave that we were talking at, but then the other guys came up after us and shit. Just, I really
Are
want to
you
have
going to do the what if scenario if Marmaduke could send in the militia?
it's all going to be kind of what if, to be honest with you.
Because that would be fun.
It would. Finding 1880s militia would be challenging, but I feel like honestly they're probably just wearing old Union uniforms.
Yeah, just use 18. Just use 15 millimeter Union.
Yeah, the question
We should collaborate on terrain on this because we could put together a 12 by 6 together.
easily correct. I have that's the nice thing. I have a shitload of log cabins that are a little late in period for my French and Indian guys, but probably work just fine for Missouri backwoods.
Well, and I'm doing the whole like Missouri Village thing.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to have some crop fields and some treed hills and bluffs coming in too.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I got lots of the incidentals I already have. I need to paint up like the cabins and whatnot. But yeah, dude, I was looking at all kinds of different, buildings and homes. The issue is it's hard as shit to find pictures of rural Missouri, not even rural Missouri, like tiny town, not even rural, middle of nowhere Missouri homes in the 1880s, especially in Taney County. You know what I mean?
I may have you covered. Let me dig.
We can find them from elsewhere, but either way, point is the log cabin should work just fine. If I'm missing some, later fittings or whatever, I'm not super worried about it. At 15 mil, they should work just fine. But yeah, like there's some.
I found a resource on Victorian era house paint in the United States.
Oh,
that
that's
I'm going
pretty.
to be using to paint up my village.
Nice. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
And I don't know if we've told Chris this or not. The seminary building for Gettysburg looks suspiciously like the Independence, Missouri courthouse.
Oh, nice.
And so it is.
So 15 millimeter it is.
Yeah.
Which I did go ahead and make that order on Noble Knight today for some more figures and more terrain and such.
Oh baby.
So
yes.
I may or may not have gotten some Highland cattle as well, because why not?
Some Shaggy Boys.
But I got some oxen, I got a bunch of draft horses and pack mules and all that random stuff you're going to need for that kind of thing.
Yeah. One of the things I was looking at trying to find for 3D printing is civilian wagon drivers, which is a little rough for that period. But again, I think I may have found some civilian wagon drivers or civilian looking-ish wagon drivers for ACW that I think will work just fine. Question is, I got to re-find them because they were in a big stack of tabs that I had open that I then closed because I thought I had everything I needed out of it. But that's not the point. But I'm excited. Honestly, it's kind of one of those cool projects. Like my 15 millimeter Civil War as is one of those long term projects, right? Like I'll paint a couple units, say, man, this is a pain in the ass, and then I won't paint anything for a year or two, and then I'll come back and paint another couple units so that the collection kind of just grows and grows and grows and grows and grows. Um, and if I had to bet, to a certain extent, this project may be similar, but luckily, a lot of the random stuff should be, oh, this is cool, let's get this painted up. Although, man, I do hate painting irregulars because uniforms are the best for uh, batch painting. But actually, I take that back. I did okay with those like Jamestown era guys, and those were all non-uniformed irregulars, so I'll be okay. Part of that game is a pretty cool like multiplayer convention game that's based around kind of running around and finding random stuff in 2x2 tiles on a large board with your little band of dudes. I want to play through a couple of games of that and see if that would be something that would be applicable, because it certainly seems like it would be. But yeah. Yeah. That could be pretty slick. Don't worry, Brian, I'm already 25 or 30 down, only, well, a lot more to go. Probably about 50 or 60 more to go, and then I gotta type up, dude. So I think we might have talked about this a week or so ago when I was on last, how this year for my Analog Hobbies painting challenge stuff, I kind of just said screw it, and I made my one big post at the start to secure my spot. Because if you don't post anything in the first month, then you're kind of asked to, okay, well, if you couldn't get anything done in a month, let's clear out time and effort for folks who are going to be painting. So I did that. That was a pretty big post. My goal this year was 1,000 points of stuff painted, which is not points in any game system. Each figure that you paint is assigned points. So like a 15 or a 28 mil infantry figure is 5 points, stuff like that. Like a 28 mil tank is 20, and so on and so forth. So I made my initial post, and in years past, I've eaten up a lot of time trying to post every week with, okay, here's what I painted this week. So I'm taking pictures, and I'm getting them up, and I'm typing all the stuff out. So this year I said, well, maybe I don't take the time to post every week. I spread it out a little bit, and then I have more time to paint, and I'll try and do big bundles, when I got 100 or 200 points worth of stuff to submit. And I kind of did really, really well on the, okay, I'm going to paint a ton of stuff, but not so much on the interim, every couple weeks posts. So now I have a significant amount of picture taking and posting to do, because sweet Jesus. I think I did another like 10 28 millimeter tanks, and then probably 150 if not 200 figures, including guns and stuff. And it's me, so it's all kinds of random shit. Like I got six random Greek dudes that I painted. Heroes, like seer looking guy, this lady with a sword. And I got 20 Roman civilians that I painted, and 30 or 40 Italian World War II guys and 3 guns, and then a big Cyclops guy, and then 15 Gauls, and 6 like ghoulie guys for prehistory stuff, and then 30 Philistines, and then a bunch of orcs, and a bunch of Rakai, and a bunch of dudes, and just, I probably should have submitted other stuff in the interim, but whatever. At some point in time, probably tomorrow night, I'll have to just sit down and dedicate an hour or two to taking pictures and all that stuff. But after tonight, they should all be based, so then the only thing that'll be left to do is just post pictures. But yeah.
Hey, did you need a layout for an Ozarks cabin?
No, these are just box houses. I'm not worried about it.
Because
I
I
do.
was gonna say if you look at page 154 of
Yeah,
Elmo Ingenthron's book, he's got the Eden's Green cabin.
yeah, I got that, and then I actually also have one that I do intend to scratch build. That is the cabin that I hike past several times every year. That was still
Do it.
standing in some sort in the mid 70s, but now is just kind of a pile of stuff. There's a couple, fixtures for old buckets. It had been updated, so there's a couple sheets of corrugated tin. Um, but I've got pictures of that when it was standing with a couple buddies of mine in front of it, and then as well as a floor plan that was laid out by the last kind of surviving guy who'd ever lived in there. Because the last member of that family to live in there got drafted in World War II, died in the Pacific, and never came back. So the cabin was in pretty rough shape when the scouts bought the, or when the scouts got the property in '65. And then honestly, nobody
Wow.
knew it was there to find it until a couple of staff members hiking found it in '71. But anyways, yeah. So the Miller cabin will certainly be a scratch built piece that I put into something, because that's pretty cool. It'd be nice to do Lehman right with that. But then his great grandfather George Miller got killed by that asshole Sam Hildebrand in 1862, and so we're 100% going to war game the pursuit of Sam Hildebrand after the murder of George Miller. He didn't like
Do it.
George Miller because he was a quote Dutchman. Fun fact: he was English, but that's not the point. Again, definitely just a criminal exploiting.
I'm flipping through. I'm flipping through the Ingenthron book again,
It's good, man. That's a great
and
book.
the diagram of the Christian County jail and gallows
Yeah,
surprisingly good.
yeah. No, I mean they're all hand drawn, which is the awesome part. Like,
But yet they're isometric and to scale.
yes, correct. They are incredibly. That's my point. They are incredibly well done for being. Didn't one of the co-authors draw most of them, or one of their like wives or some nonsense?
His daughter,
His daughter. There you go. I was about to say. I know that it's a lot of those
because
illustrations are done by the same lady.
it it's got like the street map of Kirbyville, the street map of Forsyth.
Yep,
It's quite good.
it is. It is. Speaking of Kirbyville, I do have that Battle at Kirksville book I need to read all the way through and then try and figure out if that's something that's worth trying to game also. Because that's pretty cool. A, nobody knows that the Battle of Kirksville took place. And B, it's cool because it's one of those things that really illustrates the goodness of finding your written primary and secondary sources as opposed to just wargamers love to make games off of Wikipedia, and I am every bit as guilty of that as anybody else. But once you find the stuff where okay, this guy went and looked in the county archives. This is some meaty stuff that's pretty awesome. Like that book's got the enlisted rolls for the Missouri militia that was present there, which is kind of wild. Fun fact.
Wow.
Speaking of weird Missouri stuff, uh, I know we talked about the battle for St. Louis before. We're skipping wars here. This is May 26th, 1780. But the cool thing is, the local guy who's doing a bunch of research on that partnered with a lady who has access to the Spanish Royal Archives in Seville and has found all kinds of primary source documentation regarding the defenses and population and structure of St. Louis, Missouri in the 1770s and 80s. It's kind of wild. Like, because again, they found a militia roll at one point for the St. Louis militia, so it doesn't have the St. John militia and some of the guys who came over from Cahokia. But that's pretty wild. A lot of people who have streets named after them now. But yeah,
It is pretty cool.
it's crazy that you know, 240 years after the fact, you know, oh shit, look at this stack of papers written in older Spanish. Huh. Let's get it. Especially considering it's a bunch of papers in Spanish written about a bunch of people who really only spoke English and some people spoke French. Um, but yeah, it's neat stuff. Neat
I've been
stuff.
digging a lot into my family Civil War history lately too, trying to see if any of it ties in. I sent you that enrolled Missouri militia thing I found.
Yeah, you had a forebear on the good side.
Yeah. Anyway,
In the end,
did
baby.
did
What's
I
up?
send you the one I had in a New York regiment?
No, that's pretty awesome.
So he was born in Maryland. Waited until like April 6th, 1865 to enroll in the New York volunteer unit. Got
Hell
sent down to the Shenandoah Valley and deserted on the 16th of April and went to Missouri.
yeah.
He
we pretty much
spent like
got
a
that
grand
pretty
total
well.
of 8 days in the Union service.
In his defense, by the 16th of April, 1865, shit was pretty wrapped up. Especially in the
Yeah,
Shenandoah.
Lincoln was already dead at that point too.
Yeah. Like, we're pretty good. The interesting thing would be to try and figure out if there's service records prior to that for that same individual. You know what I mean?
I'm looking. Yeah. I've seen bits and pieces, and I don't know.
There is a reason for
Based on the side of the family he's in, he was probably a little bit of a scallywag.
That's fair. There is a reason for Reese to visit St. Louis. Go to the National Archives and see what they can find.
I've got a lot of reasons to visit St. Louis, but yeah, that
fair.
would be fun.
Hell, that's even in my beat. So just holler when you do. It's hilarious. It's the National Archives building, and it's in just a god awful part of St. Louis. It's kind of funny. It's like you guys definitely just went where the rent was cheapest, didn't you? Okay, whatever, man. But
Did we lose Chris?
perhaps he might be disciplining some sort of four-legged creature at this point in time, or we lost him to sleep.
Oh well. And I don't know if you're ready to talk about it or not, but the potentially doing the airship ironclad crossover thing.
Hell yeah.
That I know I keep coming back to it, but I think that's a solid idea.
Oh, it is. Well, that's the whole point. Is that you're basically looking at the same things. Just one of them is floating on air, and one of them is floating on water. But the nice part is you've got all the simplicity of either broadsides or very limited turrets that are at the same time are capable of moving under their own power. So you don't really have to worry about sail, which makes everything so much simpler.
Yes, and then if you want to transpose that into bigger battles and involve some land stuff as well, you could have General Shelby pull up with his artillery.
So that airship game was bigger battles because the ironclads just all moved in their own order before everybody executed their cards.
Right. I was just saying that you could have like ground troops as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it would mix in pretty seamlessly, to be honest with you, because that's the whole. Yeah, no. My point is just that would work phenomenally well. Like it's almost already there. It's just adding those unit cards. You do need a fair amount of space, though, and we're going to have people incredibly frustrated by the tight turning circles of some ironclads. But as long as we don't throw Merrimack onto the table, it shouldn't be too bad.
I'm not worried about it. If people get frustrated, they can find another game.
Correct. There's the spirit. Yeah, we had some folks get kind of frustrated about that until we pointed because they're like, "Well, weren't these really, 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 hard to maneuver?" And it's like, yeah, you're right, but we're playing a 1/600.
They had a mile turning radius.
Yeah, we're playing a 1/600 right now. So unless you want to, go find a table that's colossal We're just going to have to abstract this stuff a little bit. Yes, he did actually, Mike, despite the fact that he was raucously unhealthy in his towards the end of his term of service. He did. He and Crazone both kept pretty good records.
You've
Mike,
got
you
me
played
digging
that game,
through my
haven't you?
books now, trying to find stuff.
I think, Mike, haven't you played Steve King's games from the Historical Wargaming Company? I want to say Mike did at least an unboxing of one of those. Chris Long, what's up, buddy? What you been printing? What you been painting, my dude? I need to put these bad boys on the Discord or some such, because, yeah. I put this on yesterday night with 1 hour skirmish. A buddy and I think we went over this ad nauseum a few weeks ago, but a buddy and I who game locally here are trying to put on a big Dragon Rampant Lord of the Rings game because we all have these painted figures and the Games Workshop game kind of sucks. And we were going to try and do that yesterday, and then he wound up having family stuff pop up, so all of a sudden at an hour's notice I had to audible real hard, and so I just ran it with 1 hour skirmish, which worked okay. I wish I had a little bit more time to rehash myself on the rules before we got into it, but luckily the players were really good. So it wasn't a big deal, but they had a blast. I'm kind of excited to do some more Lord of the Rings ruins terrain, in terms of like ruins in the middle of grasslands and forests and whatnot. It's a pretty cool thing that you don't necessarily get a whole lot of in some of your other historical wargaming, or even some of your like, fantasy and stuff. But Tolkien's such a great world builder that you've got stuff from the Second Age, earlier in the Third Age, that you can all tie in there. I was trying to figure out how the hell we could do like a big Amon Sewell game, but I'm not sure that Dragon Rampant is exactly the game that's built to handle stuff like the Fellowship. It's more focused on, infantry units and infantry units as opposed to the big heroic combat. But yeah, I'll have to look. I would imagine somebody's probably done it, and I can read their all their work and background and adapting and whatnot. But yeah. All right, there's 30-something Gondor, men of Gondor, faced up as well. Well, they're all men of Gondor. These guys are men of Minas Tirith, and then these guys are clansmen of Lamadon. So the kind of armored Scottish-looking guys who run around with kilts and claymores, which is a chunk of Gondor just west, I believe. Well, west over the White Mountains, I think, from Minas Tirith. But okay, that's them. Now we have
You've got me digging for my Sam Hildebrand book, and I just cannot seem to find it.
It's actually on Project Gutenberg, so you can read it for free online if you want to.
Well, I was just none of my books are organized after the move, and I'm trying to organize my Guerrilla War books.
Oh, that's fair.
And I know I've got that one, and I just don't know if it's downstairs in my nightstand or if it's upstairs on my bookshelf.
That's reasonable. I get that struggle. And now we have Uruk. Here we've got Uruk crossbowmen, which are kind of cool. These are Medbury figures, but they do kind of the Mordor Uruk-hai thing, where they've got the different helmets, not the traditional Uruk-hai helmets. They're kind of cool. I really like them. But there's 12 of these guys, because again, Dragon Rampant. So 12 of these guys, and my orcs, like my Moria guys, or not Moria, Mordor guys, I tend to base up in like a gray rubble, right? Whether they're fighting in and around Mordor or, Osgiliath or something. my Uruks, I tend to paint up with a real kind of verdant, bright field base on them, like they're raiding out into the west, whether that's Rohan or Gondor or wherever else. So I got these 12, and I got 12 Berserkers, because they're just cool to paint, and they look super cool. And then I think I have a whole bunch of Uruk Scouts. I found a used box that was not assembled of, what do you call them? Uruk Scouts, again, specifically the Aemon Hen guys, because then a couple of them are carrying off Merry and Pippin. And there's alerts, and somewhere around here I have Boromir with a bunch of arrows in him. I did not paint that one yet. I painted a Boromir from the retaking of Osgiliath, but yeah. That is this guy. But yeah. So anyways, that's what we are moving on to. God, I forgot I had these guys. Damn it. Okay, Brian, now we're looking at like 60 something Lord of the Rings guys that I painted, not just the 30. I forgot about these ones. Great. It's probably definitely going to be 150 or so 28 millimeter figures then. So I also need to dig out the Russians that I painted and never submitted. Because there's another 60 of them. Shit, it's probably going to be 200 guys. God damn. Well, that's 1,000 infantry models, right? Or 1,000 points worth of infantry right there, Bry guy. Hey, Ashley, what's up? How you feeling? Say hello to Greg as well. Good to see
It was
you.
not my nightstand.
Yeah, that happens. I know how moving is. I'm sure you'll find it. I'm sure you'll
Eventually.
Again,
I
if
gotta
all-
have y'all down here to stay at the house sometime. It's very relaxing.
I would imagine. I can only imagine.
What'd you say?
Said I'd imagine so. Sounds quite paradisical, if that's a word.
Yeah, bring your fishing rod. You can step out on 2 of the 3 decks and fish. If that's your thing.
Jesus. I have an old boat fishing rig somewhere around here.
Hey, if you can pull that off, it'll be fine.
I'm no good at it. I'm pretty terrible. It's also kind of a night thing for the most part around here, it seems like.
You act like we don't have flashlights.
Well, no, that's my point, yeah. Hell, dude, half the time, I used to do it a fair amount when I still lived in Fulton, and half the time, like, there's guys who have, boats rigged up with lights and all that stuff. We had a John boat, and we'd chuck an LED headlamp into a big old gallon Ziploc bag, and that was our bait lamp. Kind of worked.
There you go.
We weren't really around any big fish, so we kind of just wound up trying to shoot a bunch of like 8 to 12-inch catfish all the time. But shit, it was fun.
Take care, Nguya. Thanks for dropping in, buddy.
You got it, buddy. See you, Chris. Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm with you, Charles. I'm not a big fan of fishing. I don't mind catching. So like when we were up in the Boundary Waters canoeing, you could drop in an empty hook and you're going to be catching something. But yeah, I'm just going out there and throwing a fishing line into the water and hoping something hits. No thanks. I got a lot better things to do. Sitting on the side of the shore than worrying about a damn fishing pole.
I kind
But
of
that's
enjoy
just me.
sitting and looking. Yeah, I have fun with it. Again, I'm no good at it. I'm really the only thing I'm good at catching is rock bass.
The only thing I'm good at catching is grass bass.
Well, exactly. That's the point. Like, and then I feel bad because I've jacked up somebody's lure or busted a line. But
Right, exactly.
a hopper and a worm, that's pretty fun. Toll is correct.
I did
Oh,
tell
we're
y'all
playing
that I
with
got 2 of the 4 volumes of Bruce Nichols' Chronicles of the Guerrilla Warfare in Civil War, Missouri. Correct?
Nice.
They're
That one book you
fantastic.
sent me that's got like an Osprey looking cover to it, Missouri Guerrillas or whatever, and then the companion book is Guerrilla Hunters or Fighters.
Yes,
Those were pretty
those
good.
are in my truck right now.
Yeah, those are pretty good, you know, kind of high level. You're not getting anything particularly deep, but they're really, really fantastic kind of starting points for then like, okay, I want to read more about this thing. Let's go find,
Well,
you know,
speaking of Osprey books, I got the Osprey book, Irregular Warfare in the Civil War, or Guerrilla Warfare in the Civil War, something of that nature too.
oh, nice, that's got to be cool.
So
If nothing else, that's worth it just for the illustrations.
exactly.
Yeah.
So when I said I'm going in on this project, I'm going in big.
Hell yeah,
So
dude. Hell yeah. Oh man, got a lot of shit to pay. Oof. Okay. Or not pay.
it is very much annoying me that I cannot find the Sam Hildebrand book.
It's all good. Just quit looking for it, and then you're gonna get off the stream. You're gonna hit the X and then send me a picture of it.
Yeah, something like that.
That's kind of how it always works out with me. I'm trying to find something directly relevant to what I'm doing. I stop looking for it. I give up. I get real frustrated, and then I just, oh shit, okay.
Well,
That'll work.
I've been too good of a guy lately for this to work out.
Well, that'll happen.
I went to a gun show and came back with more money than I went in with.
That is what?
Yeah.
I don't think it's possible.
I can only assume you robbed someone.
No, I did.
You did rob somebody in the
What'd
parking
you say?
lot? We're online. Don't tell
No,
people.
no,
you-
no. I left with more money and less items.
Ah,
So
well, good on you. That is no mean feat.
I did not think that was
No.
possible.
I almost left with a Krag carbine, but I managed to talk myself out of it.
You realize that of all the things to hand load, 3040 is not the delighted one.
Yeah, that was
3040
basically the
Krag.
reason.
Like, luckily,
That was
projectiles.
honestly
are
the
super-
only reason.
Yeah, projectiles are easy to find, and you can buy the ammo. Like I think Grafs probably makes it, but
I think Starline makes some brass, but you can also resize 303 brass.
yes, correct. But man, if the Martini Henry project has taught me anything, it's that resizing brass is a whole lot easier to watch on YouTube than to do.
We better quit talking about that before we get a strike.
Oh yeah, we're just kidding, YouTube. You're awesome. Nothing
So,
is as hard as
Um,
the videos.
Because I can do all of that without having the fishing pole. I can have a case of beer. I can have some good conversation. I don't need a damn fishing pole getting in the way.
But
What are
to,
you
to
saying?
paraphrase, what's his name? But if you have a fishing pole, you get to kill something at the end and eat it, which is the more delicious part.
yes.
I'm not saying you can't do that. I'm saying I'm not going to do that.
That's
I'll
fair.
go sit with you while you fish. That's not a problem.
It's fair.
I'm not going to do it. Couple of reasons. A, I don't want to have to worry about the damn fishing pole. B, I was always taught you catch it, you clean it. I don't like cleaning fish.
Oh, fair. That's
Now,
my cat.
my grandmother was really good at cleaning fish. She would be able to fillet a northern or a walleye and have no bones in the fillets.
Yeah, see, that's why I like
That's-
catfish because there's no scales. You're not even messing with it. It's
Ugh.
just boom, boom, done.
Not a fan of catfish.
Love
And,
catfish.
and the problem
Sounds
is
like you just suck at frying it where you live.
exactly that's what I was going to say. Would you shut up, dog? The problem is I don't know how they're preparing it, but it always comes out just like mush. There's no, I don't know. It just there's one place.
Blackened and grilled catfish is pretty good too.
It's in
Hot roll,
Austin.
dude.
It's in Austin, and you go in and you say, "I want catfish," and that's all they serve is catfish and sides. And they bring you the catfish, and they bring you the sides, or actually you go up to the buffet to get whatever sides you want, and then when you want more catfish, you just wave the little flag, and they bring you more catfish.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
It is, and it was good because there was consistency to the fish. You know, it wasn't just bite into it and it just kind of dissolves. Blah. No thanks. No thanks. I know I'm not going to get a flaky fish out of a catfish like you do with northern or walleye or cod, but I want something more than, fish mush.
Well, it can't be that hard because that's another one that I've 100% done on the side of a lake with a bunch of 12-year-olds, and it was delicious. Like, those kids, dude, Reese, you'd appreciate this. These idiots decided one day they were going to put out limb lines, right? Because we were camped on the lake. This one was, all right, whatever. Don't die. Take a buddy. So they get in their canoes. They got a buddy, and they got their buddy boat. And they're running all over Hell's Half Acre putting up limb lines until finally it's like, hey, idiots, I can barely see you. Come back. They come back the next morning. Well, actually, I take that back. That night we're sitting there, and I'm just sitting there looking at the lake making water. Not a euphemism. I was purifying water. And every time somebody's like, oh, you're pissing in the lake. No, I was making your water, you dickheads. And like, they got 3 of them that are just going nuts, right? Because all of a sudden, there's limbs just reaching towards the water like Treebeard's thirsty. And,
Yep.
and okay, well, hey guys, can we get these damn fish off here before the turtles get them, or if they're shallow enough, raccoons get them. They go out, they pulled in this, it's the biggest catfish I've ever personally seen somebody catch in this relatively small lake. Like, it's a big lake, but it's entirely privately owned. So it's a 200-acre lake. It's a big lake for a privately owned lake, but as lakes go, it's not, you know what I mean? It's not a huge
No,
thing.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah. And I've seen people pull, 20-inch catfish or so out. And these dudes, it was probably pushing 30 inches, and it was just fatter than shit. And what do you know, as always, we forgot to make the littlest kid that was there hold it and take a picture. Because we're not that smart. So we got this, hormoned out 13-year-old who's 6 foot to take a picture with it, which was one of those like, man, AJ, you were supposed to take a picture with the fish. You guys didn't tell me. Yeah, that's because we forgot. And man, we were making donuts with, what do you call it? Biscuits. And then, man, they're like, if we have flour, can we bread these and fry them in the oil? After we're done with the donuts, yes, you can. Nobody likes fishy donuts. Also, I had no idea that these idiots were backpacking with a bag of flour. But whatever, man. Whatever, man. If they want to carry it, they can carry it. I don't care.
Whatever flips your goat.
Yeah, it was one of those, well, we don't have any flour, guys. Oh, Gus brought some. Oh, Gus, what the hell are you doing? You're smart enough to not. Yeah, it was a whole thing for a minute there, because this kid is an intelligent individual, and I didn't figure he'd be just adding 6 pounds of crap. At first, I thought they meant they had like a plastic bag. No, these idiots had a full bag of flour.
5 pound bag of flour.
Yeah, that like kids used to have to walk around with like it was a baby and shit. And I'm like, oh, all right,
Yeah.
whatever. And they breaded it up, and they did a great job for their entire frying setup being one kid's plate, and then this Dutch oven that we had a whole bunch of hot ass oil in, um, which again is its own delightful adventure when you give a bunch of 12-year-olds a fire and tell them they need to heat up oil. It's like, "God, guys, see how much it's smoking? Yeah, that means we're all gonna die when you put something into it." And now I got to take it off the fire. It's a ton. Well, why do you have to take it off the fire? Because it's going
Yeah,
to
it's
blow up.
almost like none of them have worked in restaurants yet.
Yeah, like it's going to explode, guys. That's why. We can just put some fish in it. That should cool it down. It will be very cool after the explosion, which will be cool in one fashion and not in the temperature fashion. Um, Certainly not in the perpetuity of McMurray's eyebrows and face. All right, so there's 12 crossbowmen based. Let's do these berserkers. I even did the blood under their helmets because that's how they get themselves all psyched up is they fill their helmets with blood and then put them on. Oh boy.
Again, whatever flips your goat.
Hey dude, it worked at Helm's Deep. It worked at Helm's Deep. Another 12 dudes. Let's do it.
I don't mean to be impatient, but I am itching to get those Old Glory miniatures.
Yes. Like I said, dude, you want me to ship them to you?
No, I'll be okay.
Okay.
I don't even have my room set up, so there'd be no reason.
That's fair. That's actually good motivation. Get your room set up, and then before you know it, we'll have stuff to do. And you got that other ironclad to paint and stuff and put together and all that.
Well, I've
And
got the MDF ironclad built. I just don't have it painted.
Well,
But that's probably a 30-minute job.
yes, correct. Unless you wanted to get
I got a lot
really
of MDF terrain as well.
How about if,
Hi,
if there's
Charlie boy. Where'd you come from?
if there's one thing that's good motivation?
What'd you say?
If there's one thing that's good motivation for painting figures, it's having the terrain done. So you know that once
Right.
you get figures painted, you can just jump right in.
I ran out of super glue tonight,
Well, stop huffing it and
so
use it
I'm
on
the
your
stopping point.
Er,
Well, town is 30 minutes away for the nearest super glue, so it's going to be a tomorrow thing.
Absolutely. I understand that. Absolutely.
And I don't mean that like the big town is 30 minutes away. I mean like the nearest civilization is 30 minutes away.
Yeah, love town. Town, not city,
Yeah.
town.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Like I said, paradise. We're near enough to it.
You ought to see the deer out here.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Delicious. Speaking of things that are
bet.
delicious to eat the day that they die. Delicious. What?
I prefer my venison fresh and my beef aged.
That is fair. Oh, the one time I had fresh beef, it was pretty delicious too. Although basically all beef is delicious, but yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, man, there is not a lot better than taking off back straps and then eating them while you do the rest of the work.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Yes, that is my jam. That's also the reason you shoot deer in the morning, not the evening. But yeah, that and butchering is infinitely easier when the deer's still warm. But yeah,
So I don't care if you shoot them in the morning or the evening. Bring him to the shed, throw the rope over the rafter and set up the lights and get to work.
well, I know. I'm usually outdoors butchering, and so natural light helps as
Yeah.
long as it not being 4 degrees. But Honestly, the biggest thing for me is just separating sinew and everything in the tissue is way easier when the deer's still warm, as opposed to if you let it
Yes.
cool off and then all of a sudden you're fighting everything. Um, Hell, depending on how quick you get after it, half the time you can almost pull the like musculature apart, and that's always a wonderful thing. Like for finishing up quarters and whatnot. Um,
You're making me hungry. You got to quit that.
I know, man. I'm making myself hungry, and that's the problem because it's several months until September. Um,
I've got plenty of venison in the freezer if you need to come down.
I am no, no, no. It's not that. I got venison. That's fine. I just enjoy
Yeah.
the again the freshness and the butchery is always. All right, hang on. I'm not a serial killer. I enjoy having something to show for my work when I'm done with it, and if it's delicious, all the better. Um, it seemed like an important
For
disclaimer.
YouTube.
Yeah,
Yeah.
YouTube, our general viewing audience, Chris, everybody, but yeah,
Sure thing, Mr. Dahmer.
yeah, deers are delicious. Um, but, whew, yeah, I am hungry
So
now.
about 100 yards from the house is the mouth of a holler that runs up between like two ridges,
Yeah.
and it opens up on the river.
Oh, so it's just where
So
the deer.
every deer on the place comes through that holler.
Yeah, I was about to say it's where the deer hang out.
Hmm.
It's a super highway.
The sad news is that particular 40-acre spot is not under ranch control yet.
Yet.
Is
That's
the
the big
area
word there.
is the area like
We
60
have
yards from your
plans.
house? I'm about to say if the area like 60 yards from your house is, then okay, whatever.
No, I wouldn't do that to the guys that own that spot.
Oh, is there
Yet.
not a big of a property?
No, it's
So
not our property.
no, I get no. That's my point. Is that property line shooting is one thing, but at the same time, if you're property line shooting along somebody that doesn't have that much property, it certainly takes on an extra measure of dickness.
Oh yeah, if you're the 2,000-acre landowner and you're shooting into the 120-acre dude's spot, that's
Yeah. Or again, or just right alongside it, you're competing for the same deer, and that's a bit of a dick
yeah.
move. Yeah. 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 That's okay. There are plenty of the little brown bastards in Missouri, and they're all delicious.
Oh, we have a ton of them.
Yeah. I would imagine so. Deers tend to love things that were set up for other grazing animals. Uh,
So on 15 millimeter stuff, number one,
yeah,
Sarissa is amazing.
correct.
Number two, should I get some of the old West buildings to finish out a town square with?
One more time.
Should I get some of the old West buildings to finish out like a town square type thing?
Honestly, the ones I would really like point you towards, they at least they used to. And actually, now I'm thinking about it, this might have been in 28, but I know most of the time they carry over. They used to have several like under construction buildings, and those would be like perfect because there you don't have to worry necessarily so much about it's got that big false front on it, right? That you might not necessarily see stuff like that because it isn't built on yet, and there's always stuff going up places, right? Um, or you can always justify
Right.
well building something new. Some a lot of that I've found old west stuff tends to lean really hard on the Hollywood aspect of it,
Mm-hmm.
which can be slightly problematic. It's relatively common though to see that style of building 'cause, again, you can find most of my, and again, I apologize because I'm constantly referencing it. Most of my background and reading and whatnot is local. But even like in St. Louis in the 1870s, there was still um, a good amount of that style of building with the false front. Uh, but again, I'm not as much of an expert on the smaller rural towns, to say the least.
Well,
But
and
I,
I'm inventing my own county for this too. It's not like I'm
yeah,
trying to base it super historical. I got
yeah,
really excited because Noble Knight had the like a fully detailed interior Sarissa hotel,
yeah,
and they had it marked. They had it marked 15 millimeter, and I
yeah,
got on Sarissa and found out they only do that in 28.
yeah. I'm about to say that one used to be a
So,
really common gripe from folks because yeah, that was one of their like big flagship things when they first launched their Wild West stuff. But I feel like it was complicated and had parts enough that they'd have to severely manipulate some of the like furnishings and stuff. Is that the one that's got like a bar and everything?
yes.
Yeah, like that doesn't necessarily translate as well with 3 millimeter gaps and MDF, right? Where you've got to have the slots for the pieces to come together. That doesn't necessarily translate as well into 15 mil when the parts are small. If that makes any sense. Um, but also all
It
that
does.
detail. It's easy enough to lay out, four walls, a roof, and a base in a different scale. You just got to kind of rearrange stuff to fit your uh, material size. But once you add all those interior furnishings and stuff, I can see where that would be a significant outlay of labor for something that might ultimately not work for a lot of it. But
Oh, I may have not told Chris this. I got in contact with Sarissa, just asked because I was bored and wanted to know. They will resize most of their 28 millimeter range to 54 millimeter if you ask them to.
which is wild as shit. That's what you need to do. You need to get a 54 millimeter ironclad.
No, no, I do not.
We could just find you
I've
a
got.
used coffin to carry it around in because it'd be 6 feet
I
long.
use. Yeah.
Gently used. It's just the right size, the right shape. Gently used. Don't
Sorry,
worry.
I have a Leo climbing in my lap right now.
Hello, furry creature.
Get off. Get down. There you go. 85 pounds of baby.
Well, large furry creature.
Yeah.
All
Good
right,
boy.
Warbutt. Ah, shit. Never mind. I still have 36 guys to do after this. Damn it. I'm almost done with the Lord of the Rings stuff, Brian.
Brian's
I
gone.
only have 30 Philistines and 6 of these wild looking dudes that look kind of like the one tribe from the Quest for Fire. And then 15 Gauls. Damn it. Well, I thought I was significantly closer to being done than I am.
Scarlett said, I didn't mind living in the sticks, but I just moved 2 weeks ago from living in the city to the suburbs. This is hell. The deal is, if my neighbor is 8 feet away, then I should be able to get teriyaki at 2 a.m. Nope, the neighbor is 8 feet away, and I still have to drive to go anywhere.
Yeah, I'll have to. Yeah. Where are you located, buddy?
He's up in the northwest
Oh, okay, there you go.
U.S.
Yeah.
And then Telemachus says, anytime the question is, quote, should I get? The answer automatically is, quote, hell yes.
There you go. There's that meandering Mike mentality. Should I get this war game? Yes. Done. Should I make a pretty outstanding YouTube video about it also? Yes. Gotta love meandering
Well,
mud.
sitting here debating whether or not to do the Sarissa train stuff too for 15 mil, but I don't know.
Fair. That is certainly one of those. The decider for me was always: is there a good used hobby store locally? So local, usually, like I got a bunch of O scale stuff back in the day for next to nothing. So it was all crap rolling stock, mixed stuff. So, well, that's not going to run on this track, but it will run on this track. And around here, most people use track A, not B. And I was like, that's fine. I'm not worried about that. So I wound up getting a bunch of like rolling stock and whatnot, like I said, for very, very cheap, as well as a bunch of cheap track, which was nice because that ultimately that's what can kill you on the wargaming thing because usually you get track in a couple of feet at a time.
Hi, sir.
And so I mean I wound up getting like a shoebox for $10-15 of model railroad O gauge track, which was apparently a pretty good price, except for like I said, it was in the wrong style or some shit. I don't know, but like I said, I didn't mind because I wasn't worried about powering the locomotive to then move the train. I have these for that.
Right.
Yeah, Mike was talking about how you got a lot of war games and you make good videos about them, buddy. You did hear your name, Mike.
Speaking of things like that, number one, is it the JR Miniatures rubber mud roads that are
Yes.
so hard to find but are so good?
Yes.
I've got a set of those. If anybody sees some and does not want them for themselves, please let me know. I will pay handsomely. Number two, how do you go about making 15 millimeter Western roads?
There's a lot. That's a. All right, strap in. Depends on what you want to do. If you want them to go over hills and dales and stuff, like the JR Miniature stuff, it's a little more complicated. The easiest thing to do for relatively flat stuff is, yeah, no shit, Mike. That's what I'm talking about, buddy. Amen. Is to do strips of MDF, right? And then you can obviously make a ton of straights really easily, or you can, jigsaw out a bunch of curves or whatever else you need, junctions. And then you kind of use your preferred basing material to do the roadbed itself, and then you can scatter static grass or flocking, or again, whatever your preferred open stuff is along the sides, which works pretty well. But again, you got to keep those relatively flat. You can certainly do the drop cloth and latex solution as well. You'll get a little bit more ability to bend up and down hills to suit terrain. It's
Okay.
significantly more labor intensive, but it does turn out a good product. One thing I will forewarn you about there is lots of people are tempted to store those roads by rolling them up. The latex or whatever caulking you're using will certainly hold that form, which is then immensely frustrating.
Yeah, I discovered that with my rice patties.
Yeah, really worth finding a large flat container for those. But that is another pretty solid option that's not super difficult to do. My favorite way to do those is I'll take like like a freebie credit card or something, or like a card you might get at a membership or some nonsense. At one point in time, I went and got a replacement library card because I didn't have one to use. So I went in and told them that I lost my library card, and I think I had to pay 50 cents for a new card, and then I just used that. But from one of the long edges, I'll cut up and then across real shallow for the length of the road. So then you can put down your putty or whatever, and then just pull that across it, and it'll kind of auto spread and level it out a little bit. And then depending on if you want to do that, I enjoy that because then it's easy to just kind of go along the edge of that with a pair of scissors and cut the drop cloth once it's dried. Some people will cut the strips first and then do that, and then try and pull the strips up like painter's tape. That I have found to be a little bit more messy and challenging for a relatively reasonably same result. But I kind of like the fact that I can tack down the drop cloth around the edges, do my roads on it, and then do all of the, terrain and shaping and whatnot on the roads when they're still all in one big piece. I did at one point in time try doing that by laying out a 4x6 drop cloth and then essentially making the roads in place on the larger table, which was a really cool idea, but did not work as well as I thought because those thicker chunks of the putty that I was using were significantly harder to cut through cleanly, and they wound up being all jacked up on the ends, which was really disappointing because I put all that work in and then I just screwed it up. But it does work. Those are kind of the two that I prefer to try and take a crack at because the other versions, like I said, are just either beyond my wheelhouse or comfort zone, what have you. I recently did a bunch of the MDF ones because I needed just quick roads for a bolt action event that we were running locally here. And that wasn't bad. Like I said, you just jigsaw out the profile in MDF. And then if you've got like a crappy belt sander where you've got an exposed rolling edge, that works really well for beveling the edges. So they just blend with the table a little bit better. It's by no means a requirement, but it's how I like to do it. It makes it just a little simpler on you.
Cool.
But like I said, I have done the drop cloth thing in the past. It works quite well. You're basically doing what you'll watch like Mel Bowes or somebody do to make a drop cloth textured gaming mat in strips.
Okay.
But speaking of which, if you guys haven't watched any of Mel's videos recently, go watch a couple videos. The guy had a whole just slew of major health issues, and YouTube was his income. So all of a sudden he lost he was running into some pretty severe financial trouble because his health prevented him from making YouTube videos. And so his viewership kind of dropped off there for a while and was really causing him some trouble. So go over, just watch something if you haven't subscribed or whatever. Go ahead and subscribe and just help the poor guy out. He's in need of a
Yeah,
hand.
put a playlist of his stuff on while you fall asleep and let it play all night.
Exactly. It's helpful. He's contributed a lot to the hobby, whether you know it or not. Odds are, if you've been watching YouTube terrain videos, somebody probably drew, at least in small parts, some inspiration from him or whatnot. That, or if you don't have his Terrain Basics book, that is legitimately a wonderful book. I got that. That was cool. That's a really good book. That being said, my copy I got from Miniature Market, and so the spine is splitting, but that's okay. But yeah, those are pretty simple to do. They're just, again, a little labor intensive. Like I said, the putty's a little bit messier to do. But ultimately, if you think about it before you do it, it's not hard to contain that mess. The big thing is, double, triple check. I know that drop cloths are supposed to be waterproof. Most are not entirely waterproof, so it's good to lay down something on your table before you go adhesing or putting on your, whatever level of adhesive putty. Ultimately, all putty is minorly adhesive. That's how it sticks to the wall or whatever you're putting it on. The last thing you need is it soaking in and then you having a permanently textured table. because most of the time
What
it's
I've found is if you use the plastic backed drop cloths, they go a lot better,
yep,
but they are more expensive.
they are. The plastic backed tablecloths, the cheapies that have a little cotton backing on them,
Mm-hmm.
work really well for overall game mats. The Jay Wiley turned me onto those, which is ingenious. Um, they can run into wrinkle problems if you don't kind of lay them out and get them all pretty and stuff first. And make sure you get one. That's the other thing. Make sure you get one that's got a solid color on the back, not a patterned color. It takes a lot of paint to overcome that patterned color. I think I went through like 3 cans of spray paint on that Mars mat that I made, so that it didn't have like a paisley appearance to the ground. Um, but that's a great example because you played on that, didn't you? At the first March to Victory at the game store. That
I think so.
that Aliens Drift thing I put on, where it was essentially Martian Orcs Drift.
Oh, I absolutely did play in that.
Yeah, that drop cloth is a cheap plastic tablecloth. Um, that game mat is, and it turned out half decent. I was not mad at that. I had that like 3x3 one that I used at Battles and Brews the year earlier for the small Fistful of Lead game, but then for the bigger Battles game, I wanted something bigger, and that turned out working pretty well. All right. We're doing the last. These 6 are the Uruk-hai Scouts, which should be the last of the Lord of the Rings stuff I had painted. Unbased. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. This, my friends, is a good feeling. Not the biggest fan of basing, but getting stuff based, good day. What's
I got
up, Reese?
another question to pick your brain on.
Yeah, what's up, bud?
So Joe Shelby and a couple other people used scouts in the opposite uniform, and a couple of the Union cavalry guys used scouts in butternut.
Uh-huh.
How would you go about modeling those on the tabletop?
Just use Confederate models.
Okay.
The issue is mechanically figuring out how you're going to work them into a game. Because, like, that's the thing, right? Because I've run into that with a couple other things, and people are always like, well, why don't you put, like, a Union hat on them or something? And it's like, because these people are standing there, they're going to know better than to put a blue hat on a guy in a butternut uniform. Like, well, how do we know who he is now? Well, maybe that's the whole challenge. That is significantly more difficult to do.
And I was less trying to model that particular tactic and more just modeling a specific unit, like, Quantrill walking into a place wearing blue, and then all of a sudden, boom, there's pistols everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, I would still argue that that man knew the Union units in his area. It's probably where he got the uniform. Like, I would paint him up like your Union guys. Maybe give him some goofy facial hair or something, or stick an extra pistol in his belt. Although we're doing 15, not 54. 54, yeah, you can just stick an extra pistol in his belt, call it a day.
Oh, yeah, 54, I'd be completely kit bashing these, but 15, I'm not going to do any kit bashing.
I wouldn't. I would not. That's
the only thing I might do is trim a rifle scabbard or something.
Oh yeah. The other thing that's relatively easy to do in 15 is trim a rifle down to make a shotgun, and then you kind of just paint the entire of the barrels, what would be the barrel assembly, in your steel color, as opposed to just maybe doing a line of steel on the top.
Mm-hmm.
I have done that. That looks okay. But yeah, kit bashing 15s is rough work. I know that there are people who do it. Personally, I found that when I try to do it, it's a whole lot more work. The juice is not worth the squeeze, so to speak. And I got a hair in my glue.
I
and
guess
so
I'm gonna have to learn to batch paint.
it is frightfully simple. One of these days, we can just do a week where, or a show where I go through and all we do is we batch paint ACW. The one big suggestion that I will make to you is, and you're not multi-basing, so it's not going to be as much of a temptation, but put all the same sculpts together, because then you don't miss equipment. I have done that on far too many figures and become far too irritated to ever make that mistake again or not pass that little nugget on. Is yeah, make um,
Well, I think I'm going to vary the colors a little bit too because, I mean, both Confederate and militia units were all kinds of jumbled up as far as uniforms go in the theater.
correct.
So
That's very true.
have a bunch of different shades of blue, bunch of different shades of butternut, and do a bunch of civilian shirts on both sides.
Oh yeah, and that's kind of a cool thing about the
Okay.
Trans-Mississippi Theater.
Oh
Man,
yeah,
these guys are good
you got
fighters.
guys in brown pants, a yellow and brown checkered shirt, shooting a flintlock Hall carbine because that's what they had.
Yes. Screw it. The epitome of going to war with the militia you have, not the militia you wish you had.
Yeah. It amazed me how many Hall carbines, both percussion and flintlock, were on both sides of the Trans-Mississippi.
Yeah. The other cool thing you can do over here is hawking rifles,
That is true.
which is pretty cool, given that those were, especially at that point in time, like Emo's Pizza of the firearms world, a relatively St. Louis slash Missouri occurrence that everybody else kind of looked at as, what are you guys doing over there? What's up with this half
I
stack?
am still trying to figure out how I'm going to paint up the scoped rifle guys.
Oh yeah. Well, the Union side at least did have a number of sharpshooters, like units, where you're not going to see them like
Oh,
per
I found a
day.
unit of Texas sharpshooters that saw service as well
Hell
in the
yeah,
Trans-Mississippi.
hell yeah.
So now
Listen,
later on in the war they were mostly used as mounted infantry, but I don't care.
my point is just it might be cool to toss in like a normal uniform sort of thing, but then oh well, this guy's got a green coat because he's a sharpshooter, and that's what they heard sharpshooters wear back east, so they're going to give it a shot. Um,
Make it the complete wrong shade of green.
oh yeah, it's green, not Burgundian green.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a real light sagey color.
Yeah.
Look, John, they said they were green. I don't know. The engraving in the newspaper didn't have color. Somebody's getting made fun of,
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh yeah. And he
That
read
is
something
real
about
weird.
the cowskin backpack, and he's just got a cow's head strapped to his back.
Yeah. That idiot over there is green. It's Missouri, idiot. The woods are all brown and gray. There's oak leaves everywhere. Yeah.
Oh.
I had a buddy
As I
point
said,
that
though,
out.
I'm going to try to lay down some mounted combat rules as far as like clearing obstacles and falling off your horse and things like that.
Yeah.
I think Wiley got a good start on it, but there's definitely a lot more I could add.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And you got plenty of cavalry.
Like if a cannon fires, any mounted units within 12 inches have a possibility of dismounting.
Yeah, suddenly and surprisingly. I think they call that an oh shit dismount. Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely have some words for it at work.
I've fallen off a horse before. It's okay. It happens. You guys shouldn't be.
Oh,
I'm
I've
an idiot.
definitely fallen off a few. Well,
This
when
one's
you
just
run as
walking.
hard a country as we run, and you work the kind of work we do, you're going to come off occasionally.
Yeah, I was just walking through a field and the saddle went rip. Such is life.
Oh boy.
I didn't die. It was okay.
Oh,
Well,
I've had a girth rip on me. Yeah.
yeah, I wasn't. It was just I was just mad at the idiot who did all the tackle or the tack and saddles and whatnot. Like, all right, I'm pretty sure it's not supposed to do that. I'm not an expert by any means. I'm pretty sure it's not supposed to do that, and I'm pretty sure Ron, you're also not an expert. On account of the fact that my saddle just rotated 90 degrees.
So we're working some pretty rocky country. This has been a year or so ago, and we were going down a pretty steep embankment. And I got off and adjusted my cinch and kind of loosened it a little bit so she'd have some room to breathe and move. And I had forgotten that I'd done that, and we started working calves. And I, as the boss, I'm not supposed to be roping. My cowboys are supposed to be doing the work. I'm supposed to be calling the shots. There's like 6 or 7 missed loops, and I just got irritated, picked up my rope, built a loop, and swung and caught and dallied, forgetting that my cinch was loose. And as you said, saddle goes one way, so I jerked my foot out of the stirrup and put both feet in the same stirrup to keep the saddle mostly centered, and was like, okay, I caught this calf, we're going to drag it, and so we drug it with a saddle about 25 degrees off center.
See, that's impressive. I put both feet in the air and my ass hit the ground. It kind of decided me hit the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a relieving feeling when you finally do touch the earth.
Well,
and it's not as bad as
it
you
felt
thought
like
it
I
was
was
going to be.
turning forever, and then I'm like, well, I can't shift my weight. I know I'm supposed to throw weight into the other stirrup right now, but that isn't happening.
Yep.
Yeah, such is life. Whatever. Like I said, I didn't die. It all worked out. It all worked out. All's well that ends well. Not mad at that.
All right.
Anyway, we're probably talking everybody's ear off tonight.
Well, such is life. We've been sticking relatively wargame centric. We had some,
We really have.
but we've certainly been coming back to it rather frequently. Man, I think you're going to enjoy the hell out of Rebels and Patriots. Again, it's not in-depth built as an ACW game, right? But through the traits and
Right.
stuff, you can get a half decent amount of, chrome and whatnot on it just through the same stuff you're used to with Wily, right? Where, okay, these guys shoot good, whether it's because they've got better rifles or they're better trained or whatever, they can shoot better, so we'll give them that attribute. Stuff like that. You don't necessarily have to get all the way into, okay, well, these guys are using, Belgian import rifles, or these guys are using two-band Enfields, so they don't necessarily shoot as well. You don't have to get that far into it necessarily. The point is they don't quite shoot as well, so here we are.
There any accounting for shotguns in it?
I would imagine so, although actually, I don't know. Because again, it's really designed for groups. So
Right.
it would be, it's not necessarily as into, okay, well, this one dude has a shotgun, the rest of them have rifles. That's not super duper what it's designed for. That being said, it would not be difficult at all to incorporate that in terms of, okay, here's a weapon profile for a shotgun. Right? Just
So
like you got,
what's your basic maneuver unit in it? Is it a
12
squad?
dudes.
Is it a brigade? What?
It's a
What'd you
squad.
say?
It's 12 dudes. 12 guys.
Okay, that's doable.
Yeah.
You could even cut that to 6 if you needed to.
Yeah, you can. One thing that might drive you nuts is that the like activation and effectiveness of fire and combat and everything is always 12 dice until you hit half strength on your models. Then it goes to 6, which on one hand
Okay.
is a little frustrating sometimes, but it also makes it a whole lot easier to play because you're not constantly keeping track of, oh, well, hold on, I need to subtract this many dice this turn. Well, okay, now I got 8 dice, or okay, well, now I got 9 dice. There are certainly people who play it that way.
Well, and I'm single basing as well, so that should come in handy.
Oh no, it's designed for most of the Rampant series is truly designed for single-based figures.
Okay.
Like in a lot of them, that's kind of the other nice thing is that facing doesn't really matter because the idea is when you're running around in groups that small, you can kind of turn to do whatever you need to. Formation isn't necessarily a huge deal. And like Dragon Rampant and stuff,
Right.
like you can utilize formations if you like, but you don't necessarily have to. Again, the idea is, oh, hey guys, there's a guy over here. Everybody can kind of just turn around and shoot. You're not having to wheel a regiment or anything like that.
Right.
Or again, in Lion Rampant, you're not wheeling a whole wing of an army or a legion or a cohort. It's okay. Hey Marcus, turn around. There's a Gaul over there.
What about Black Powder? I'm not as familiar at all with that.
In Black Powder, nominally the maneuver element is a regiment, but you can also
Okay.
play it. There's nothing mandating that it's a regiment, right? It's more just based off a command system where, okay, you have a brigade.
One figure does not equal one figure in Black Powder.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, the number of figures you have in a unit are really just to kind of denote the unit size. Like if it's a normal sized unit, a small unit, a big unit. And there it's really more just you change the number of models in a unit to change the frontage. Bolt action or Black Powder does not use figure removal.
At all?
Nope. Like you can eliminate a unit and then the unit comes off, but you don't utilize figure removal to indicate casualties.
That's interesting.
It is. It makes sense when you abstract it out to that this is a regiment, right? Because except for in really extreme circumstances, you don't have regiments sticking around long enough for the most part. Again, obviously there are exceptions to be made. But a lot of times you don't have regiments sticking around long enough for their frontage to be severely hampered by casualties. Like that's a lot of fucking dead guys. Right? And there's not a whole lot of examples of oh man, these guys just lost even as high as like 20 to 30% of their number before somebody goes, okay, we're gonna back off a little bit. Like wargamers are used to
the only example that's coming to mind would be parts of the Stonewall Brigade at 2nd Manassas.
Well, you can find it a lot. Like there's that. There's some of the regiments and brigades during Pickett's Charge. There's whatever that Minnesota regiment was that come out to help relieve Third Corps. There's a bunch of units at like Petersburg at the Crater or whatever. There's the USCT at Fort Pillow. Like they happen. It's just we're naming individual regiments where large engagements would feature, 100 or so. And there are.
Well, and I guess I'm looking at it from a Trans-Mississippi perspective too, and going, where in the world am I going to have two regiments facing off against each other, let alone 5-on-5?
P Ridge, I don't know. To a lesser extent,
yes, but
that's about it.
I'm talking about the guerrilla war here.
Yeah, no, that's my point. Is that
Price's Raid, Jenkins Ferry,
Westport, maybe.
Although I think Jenkins Ferry would be a ton of fun to game.
I am not particularly familiar, but
Jenkins Ferry was a retreat action in South Arkansas on the Saline River, where the entire battle was fought in 6 to 12 inches of water
that would suck. Is I think the word you're looking for.
in the swamp.
Like
2 cannon shots were fired in the entire battle.
Did you say 2 cannon shots?
The Union set up their cannon on the road, fired it twice, realized that the cannon was burying itself in the mud, and quit firing it.
Hell yes. That's awesome. That's the game I want to play in GBACW.
No artillery.
Yeah, I'm having a dickens of a time figuring out how to effectively use my artillery and my cavalry in that rule set.
Speaking of arty, what guns did you pack for me?
I have a mix. I found a good STL pack. So you got a fair number of different stuffs. They weren't necessarily super accurately labeled. Again, I point to the delight that is 15 millimeter. Like, cool.
That's all right.
That gun is slightly on the small side. It's the 6-pounder today. But yeah, light guns. I think I threw in a parrot or two.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, just for shiggles.
I like parrots.
So you'll have as many parrots.
And you know I'm fond of my howitzers.
Exactly. So I tossed in some 12-pounders and stuff. There's a few Napoleons, just because you have it's a Civil War. You have to have a couple 12-pound Napoleons. That's most of it. If you have anything in particular you're looking for, I can always print it and toss it in there or look around. I think I probably have a spare Gatling gun I could throw in there for just fuckery's sake.
Josie Wales.
Yeah. Just cause, for funsies, as they say. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as long as I've got a howitzer in there, I'm good.
Oh yeah.
There's a book that I really loved growing up that was a novel about the guerrilla conflict called Blessed Are the Peacemakers.
Talking about Colts?
And there's no, it's not. It's a reference to scripture actually.
Oh, okay, cool.
But there's a 12-pound mountain howitzer that features prominently in that book.
Certainly have a gun that can work for that. Yeah.
Spoilers for a 20-year-old book. But let's just say somebody sneaks into camp and makes sure that the barrel's packed the wrong way so that when they touch it off, it explodes.
That is not how it's supposed to work. That's a bad day.
Yeah, well, it takes some very bad dudes off the battlefield very quickly.
Well, that's a good thing. Bad dudes going by is always a good thing.
Well, there's a group of I'll call them desperados in there that fight for neither side but wear Union uniforms.
Yeah.
And they have one mule pulling a 12-pound howitzer and no case on.
What's its name?
And they just put all the shells in the back of the mule.
Okay.
What's the name of the
tired
mule?
ass.
I just want to clarify that this is indeed set in the 1860s, not the 1980s when the Callaway nuclear plant got a little froggy.
Correct.
Because that is the strongest goddamn mule on the face of the planet.
Yeah, I'm not sure the guy that wrote it understood how heavy a 12-pound howitzer is.
Fair.
It's obviously 12 pounds.
I did read that on the label. Otherwise, false advertising.
And I'd have to say that's one tired ass.
Yeah. That Union Gunworks is the Walmart online shopping of the 1860s with its false advertising. That or, dude, Amazon independent sellers have gotten really bad about that. I tried to do the Brian thing because he's always doing a great big job or a great job finding like Brian finds the best deals on miniatures on Amazon with his starter packs and shit. Like he'll find starter boxes for 60% off on Amazon deals.
Right.
And so my goofy ass is trolling around, and I see the bolt action Italian Bersaglieri starter, right? And it's like $40. Shit, count me in. If I use like half of that stuff, that's a great deal. It arrives, and it's the Bersaglieri infantry box. Like, wait a fucking minute. That is not what the picture was. Like, the wording was ambiguous, right? Because it's not the Army starter box that is the official Warlord description, but it's one of those, yeah, that's pretty standard for Amazon.
Everybody knows what you're supposed to be talking about, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty standard for Amazon to have things slightly mislabeled, right? Like, whatever, that's fine. Especially when it's that sort of, that niche of a product. Nope, got told basically to go fuck myself. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
There's a 1-star review where I'm holding the, somewhere on Amazon, I have a 1-star review where I'm holding the infantry box that I got up next to my laptop screen with the product listing. But, yeah.
You
It
tell
just
'em.
says 1 star, as advertised, as received. But I just realized it's 10:20. I got probably 70 or so miniatures based, but it is 100% time for McMurray to go to sleep, so I can be up
Yeah.
at 4.
I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up.
Understood.
For the 4 of y'all that are still out there, thanks for hanging out with us. We do truly appreciate it. Charles took off like 14 minutes ago. So, Scout's still with us.
We
He
wore
says
him out.
12-pound mountain howitzer. Your mom's been telling stories about me again. Heyo!
It's a fantastic line out of Braveheart. Big fan. See you, Scala. See you, Cole. Hopefully,
Take care,
Wag.
guys.
Or who knows?
Yep, appreciate it. And I'll be letting y'all know how Battle of Tsushima goes next week.
Hell yeah.
So, me and Mike's still out there. Good night, Mike. Take care,
There he
buddy.
is. I should have known.
So-
Night, Mikey.
Yep. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up, guys. Again, appreciate it. And until next time, we'll see you on the flip side.
See you guys. Bye, Paulie.